What's resolved about yesterday?
I guess he's photocopying. He made these photocopies.
We left up in the objection of an opinion.
Oh, yeah.
You had to make a ruling.
Well, you want to present evidence, didn't you? Here's where the whole thing is. Don't let me say, Mr. Kane's office. More than once, I left the meeting having that only 2 of the members present were against the operation. The example thought the president was the other. That's a plot to one of the regulars against the operation. The whole entire chapter was stolen from why he was in every
right here. It says, please disregard. He said, no, I reserve the right to stop this thing for 24 hours before.
First of all,
technically he did have a way out.
Did they not, please back out of it right here, since you reserve the right.
no, that's not the question. The question And second of all, that's what Kennedy said. Kennedy thought he could get out 24 hours. Kennedy never knew about the secret CIA plan. It's part of the evidence.
He would have still been out of it. He would have still been out of it.
And that's not the point either.
He should have got out of it.
Yeah, he's testifying today. He's testifying his own opinion. He's saying that his opinion was the president could get out of it. Right, and Arthur Schlesinger.
But we say that I don't get that out of it.
I beat it. I mean, you can judge her later, but at least let him testify.
I'd also like to show here. I'd also like to show here. I'd also like to show you here in the rules of evidence. It says opinion, objection, counsel's asked you to witness.
All right, first of all,
They're an expert witness, and they're allowed.
they're expert witness, and you can't do that.
Where's the expert witness?
What do you mean? Every single question asked throughout this entire trial. Objection, I have to sit back up.
Yeah, Kennedy. What did you call him? I have to back up. I stopped. Trial.
Wait a second, that's cross-examination. That's for cross-examination.
That is cross-examination. Look, we're under direct examination.
It is, that's for cross-examination.
Okay,
Opinion is for cross-examination.
Overruled.
Sorry, I'm going to overrule that. He needs to consider an expert witness. And so
What is that?
All right.
It's not.
So the question was Kennedy opposed to the plan?
Yes, he was.
And then why was he opposed to it?
Because basically he couldn't find a way out.
All right, and why couldn't he?
Well, you see, many times, even though there might be ways to get out, scapegoats or whatever, many times in politics, you find yourself in a position where you just cannot say no. And that's where Kennedy found himself. Because his predecessors had dug him so deep in a hole, it was almost impossible for him to climb out. First of all, President Urrutia of Guatemala had already given the United States an ultimatum that all of the troops had to be out of his country. And secondly, once these troops were kicked out of Guatemala, where would they go? They had no place to go other than the United States. And basically, not only did we not have room for all these men, but the embarrassment as well as the threat basically to all our foreign relationships would have been threatened by the invasion would have gotten out anyway, basically.
All right, this time I'd like to introduce to the court evidence, something called white paper. And I'll give a copy to the defense and a copy to the judge. It's called a white paper. I'll clarify what it is. I mean, the prosecution. All right.
You gonna give one to the judge or give one?
Yeah. No, there's two copies. It's brackets, part of the white paper. I'm going to cover all this stuff just so we get there for a second. All right.
You don't have to clarify.
Did Kennedy ask you to prepare for the White House a doctrine called the white paper?
Yes, he did.
And what did it say?
It basically said that the United States was not necessarily opposed to Castro himself or the new form of government as opposed to the old government. Rather, it said that we wanted to get rid of the threat of communism that had emerged down in Cuba.
All right, I'd like to read into the record what the white paper says. The people of Cuba remain our brothers. We acknowledge past omissions and errors in our relations to them. The United States, along with the nations of the hemisphere, express a profound determination to assure future democratic governments in Cuba full and positive support in their efforts to help the Cuban people achieve freedom, democracy, and social justice. We call once again on the Castro regime to sever its links with the international communist movement, to return to the original purposes which brought so many gallant men together in the Sierra Maestra, and to restore the integrity of the Cuban Revolution. If this call is unheeded, we are confident that the Cuban people, with their passion for liberty, will continue to strive for a free Cuba. And that shows Kennedy's words.
What was your question before that, man?
The question was, what did the white paper say?
No, before that.
Did Kennedy ask you to prepare for the White House paper, the doctor called the white
You don't
paper?
have to reread.
I can't remember the 3 questions because I only have 2 listed, otherwise from memory.
Is that all your questioning?
The prosecution.
15 seconds.
When you guys say research,
Okay, go ahead.
Prosecution.
Totally.
Further question. You stated during the direct examination that under Eisenhower, the plan called for a 600, 700-man guerrilla force. What was the actual invasion force that landed on Cuba? What was the numbers of men at that point?
I really can't recall.
You can't recall while you were involved so deeply in this?
I couldn't give you the exact numbers.
That's general. Was it more?
just refresh us.
Yeah.
What?
No, I can't recall.
No, it was, you have any documents? It was 1,500, I think, that you could basically state that. And,
Objection, that's incorrect data, and I'd like to...
I said basically, approximately.
Yeah, well, basically 15,000. I mean,
1,492.
if he's lying to the court, I mean...
1,500.
And this is definitely more than the 600, 700 man force during under Eisenhower, correct?
Yes, I think it is.
And Eisenhower's plan was for 600, 700 men, and Kennedy changed his plan. How can you say that he was so bound by it as not to want to give it up?
Well, you know, as I already stated, he was already in very deep as it was. The escalation was just...
Your Honor, I'd like to note to the prosecution at this time that under the Eisenhower administration, the plan was changed, and the 600 number that you're talking about... I'm objecting to his line of questioning. And the 600 men you're talking about is, I believe it was 1959 was 600 men, and by the time Kennedy got in office, the number was up to 1,443. I mean, not 69, I mean 59. My book was stolen by somebody, and once I find it, I'll
Well, I
have
was
a
missing
photocopy.
too, so, you know, when I find that...
Until you find.
And basically, Kennedy didn't change his plan because he didn't want to be embarrassed. Shut up.
No, not necessarily. He just... Also, it wasn't... He didn't change the plan. The CIA.
I mean, he ended it totally. He didn't change it. A plan that was against international law and also against national law.
Objection. There was no way for Kennedy to know this. This is what the hearing's about. You're trying to ask him the ultimate question, and that's against mock trial rules. You're asking him, well, he was totally going against international law and national law. That is the ultimate question, and I object on those grounds. Oh, object. Well, you're not intelligent. It is the ultimate. Yeah, it's the ultimate question.
And did Kennedy give the final order for this invasion?
As I previously stated, yes, he did.
Okay, early in the direct examination, you said that it would have been embarrassment, even though if Kennedy had stopped, because it was because it would have gone on anyway. Is that correct?
I didn't say it would have gone on anyway. I mean, it would have gotten out anyway. The plans of the invasion would have been revealed anyway.
Right, but did you not say that? Wasn't there some mention of that? You said the CIA would continue with this anyway. Wasn't that going on?
No, objection, Your Honor. That was brought up under another witness. He's asking questions that are...
Sustain.
You said one reason why we didn't continue was where would the troops go? I mean, one reason that Kennedy was forced to continue to where would the troops of Guatemala go? Is that correct?
Yes, I know.
So basically, you're saying you risked the integrity of the United States just because you couldn't take care of 600 people?
I said that was one of the contributing factors. I didn't say that was the reason for going on with the Cuban invasion.
Can you give any other reasons why?
Objection. He's already answered the question. He answered it in direct examination. It's already on record. It's already on record what his actual answers were, and there was more than one. He's just repeating the same question.
Well, only because, prosecution has the right to cross-examine him. If he's only, has to verify it.
If we had a copy of the records, it would make sense, but we don't. Okay. So what, can you give some other reasons why?
Well, like I already said, it would have not only been an embarrassment because it would have gotten out, but it would have also hurt our foreign relationships anyway because the knowledge of the plane would have gotten out. People would have known that we were training exiles down in Guatemala for an invasion of Cuba.
So what was so wrong about that? Training exiles?
Well, for what purpose?
Yeah, but was that purpose now carried out?
Yes, it was.
So now isn't it worse to have the action on record than just to have the thought of it?
Objection. We did not call him as a philosophical expert. We called him as an expert on.
He's an expert on the relations with other countries. And
You're right. So he said, he's an expert. His question was if you complete the act or if you don't complete any act. It was very general.
He's an expert on the subject.
He's an expert opinion. That was a philosophical question. You didn't ask him if one country did so on. You said if one act was not completed.
I'm being very specific. I'm saying if the United States can continue this or did not continue this, which is worse? Just restate the question.
Anyway, it's your speculation.
It's okay. I'll just even specify the question. But are we going to get a ruling?
I'll just state it.
Okay. So I'll be specific now. You said that it would have been bad for the United States to just stop and just have it on record that they were planning on invading Cuba. Is that correct?
Yes.
So now they invaded Cuba. Now, which is worse? The United States.
Do you want my personal opinion?
Yes. Which is
I
worse?
think, which is worse? Well, I would say it is almost as bad to have the invasion. Of course, it's worse to invade, but it would have had negative results.
So either way, it would have negative results. You're saying?
Yes.
But obviously the action was worse. To actually put it into action.
Objection. This is only on one of the counts, and he's trying to make sweeping generalizations off of only one examination of
I'm
the
asking him
counts.
specifically. So the action of the United States invading Cuba was worse than just training the troops.
The whole action.
Right.
Than just.
And
what way?
It is.
Objection. Speculation. You're asking me to speculate what the results would be.
It already happened.
Answer this as well as answer.
And you're asking, well, yeah, but he's asking worse to whom? Worse to Cuba, worse to us, worse to other countries, worse to Russia?
Worse in economic
It's
parameters.
too general. Worse on economics.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll be more specific now. Would it be worse to Kennedy's integrity as a new president to the United States in dealing with foreign nations? Would it be worse to have just stopped with the camps and let that information get out?
Do you mean
Or
morally
Objection.
strategic?
This is speculation. These last 5 questions have been all speculative questions.
He's an expert witness on this subject on foreign relations.
He's not expert. Excuse me. He's not expert witness on speculation. He's not a fortune
This is
teller.
foreign relations.
He's a historian. He's not a fortune teller.
May I remind you, this is a courtroom and
Yeah, I'll
in a
let you
dignified
remind
manner
everybody.
will be held in contempt. I overruled the same thing. Please stop
Alright.
objecting.
When you say worse, do you mean morally, strategically, economically,
No.
militarily?
No, as in relations with other countries.
In what way?
In the relations in...
Friendliness? You mean we
Well,
wouldn't be as friendly with them?
No, not friendliness.
In what way do you mean worse?
How the United States would be looked upon by other nations.
Morally?
Just how they would be looked upon with regards to international law, with regards to morals.
I have to object right now because under the rules of this court, it says opinions of witness. As a general rule, witnesses may not give opinions. He's asking him for
Wait a
opinions.
second. You were overruled.
Yeah, right here, right on.
Well, then change the rules now.
In crossing.
Wait, first they said they asked the kids borrowing so
I
many
overruled
times.
the same thing. I'm sorry, but you considered him an expert witness. You should be able to
Okay, all right, fine.
discuss
Then
this.
you're right.
for somebody defend charge?
No,
They're getting ridiculous.
The board can, that's ridiculous.
Because I cannot continue with my line of questions. You just keep objecting. Calm down. Same thing. Okay.
Let's continue.
Okay. So is it possible that if Kennedy had stopped, that he would have been looked on in a better light because that he was a wise president?
Looked on by whom?
By foreign nations.
Which ones? Our allies or our enemies?
Our allies and enemies. Europe, Soviet Union.
All right, I think our allies would have, our enemies, first of all, would have seen us as having an aggressive act against Cuba. But our allies would have looked upon us as defending our shores against democracy.
No, I mean,
Against
if they had stopped right with the camps,
If we'd stopped with the camps,
like with the training camps,
I think
the allies, how would the allies?
Russia would have still seen
Yeah,
that as
obviously,
a threat to their.
obviously our enemies, yes. How about the allies?
The allies, I don't think they would have. They would have still seen us trying to defend our shores against communism. Just preparing in case of an attack.
Yeah, but so it would have been looked on favorably or not favorably? You're saying favorably, right? By having this.
Not necessarily.
Objection, which one? You keep on switching
talking
from
about the
whether
allies.
invasion or not invasion.
I'm talking about the farms.
I know, but are you saying the effect from not invading or invading?
That's exactly what I'm saying. They're not invading.
You keep on switching back and forth.
I'm saying
Just
not invading.
clarify.
Just the,
I'm just objecting, and it's hard for the witness to make it out.
Okay. If they did not
just to
invade,
clarify.
if they did not invade, does it not look better?
Well, that would have looked better. In some ways, yes. In some ways, no.
So basically, you're saying Kennedy had the choice to stop with the camps or to go on, but it would have been.
Like I said, technically he had a choice, but he was so in deep with the plan, economically and everything else. He had a choice, but like philosophically speaking, he had no choice.
But we were supposed to talk about philosophy. No, but anyway.
That's what I've been
Just
talking
witness
about.
brought it up.
10 minutes.
No, but I'm just getting around there. But anyways, but he could have stopped. I mean, he really could have stopped and just said no. Even
Yes,
though,
he could.
Okay. Right.
Are there any further questions for the prosecution?
Wait, one more question. I'm sorry. You said that his predecessors had dug too deep in a hole. Are you talking about Eisenhower?
No, I'm talking about the CIA under Eisenhower's term, before he stepped in.
Okay. So you feel. So you felt that Kennedy felt the pressure from this recent plan?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Any further?
All right. Can we do routine?
Next witness. Can we do your call next witness?
Wait a minute.
Wait, can we cross-ex Urrutia now? At this point, is that okay?
Feel free.
No.
I mean, we can't not allow it.
Do you have
I don't have.
That's more.
That's true. Look at that, we've been out.
All right, Steph, come on.
hang on, I'll get my.
Do you have any other witnesses who want to exercise their testimony? Are there any other witnesses?
Eric has to go yet.
Who's Eric? What's Eric?
He's Matthew.
We'll just get started. Stephanie. I mean, Urrutia. Oh, you have Urrutia. You. Settle down, kid. Mr. Urrutia, you.
We had questions Wednesday. Anybody have a book here called The Cuban Missile Crisis?
You said my
Sorry.
Okay. You stated that Castro was communist. Now, communist with respect to Russia or communist with respect to Castro communism? Because you said one time there was Castro
Castro
communism.
communism was Russian communism.
Now,
I won't brag like this.
so you feel that Castro had this the same type of communism set up as Russia?
originally he promised the people that what he was intending to do was instill democracy in the land and make all these improvements. But I resigned when I found out that that was not his intent and that he was turning his country into a Soviet.
So there was no landowning in Cuba at the time?
That,
I object. In the Soviet Union, some land is owned by the people. So what is your point?
I'm just asking her a question.
But you said like in the Soviet Union. Are you trying to get him out? I object on the grounds that he's trying to perjure my witness when he says like in the Soviet Union when there's no land owned. When that in fact there is land owned in the Soviet Union.
So you feel that he was affiliated with the Communist Party, like, international in the Soviet bloc? Okay. At this point, I would like to present evidence. I'm not trying to bring a perjury charge. I'm just presenting evidence by Rufo Lopez Frisquet, the Minister of the Treasury of Cuba. At the time, he spent 14 months with Castro. At the time when he came to power, 14 months.
May I remind you that at the time when he came to power, I was also with him, and at that time he was purporting to be a Democratic.
Exactly, and for the next year he was with him, like as you were. So, and this evidence reads: there was no evidence that he was affiliated with the Communist Party. You certainly do not have the statute to negotiate with international communism.
I
also stated.
I object to. I don't have the grounds to object to the evidence. They're introducing evidence for someone they haven't called to the stand, and we can't impute his credibility and say he was like a puppet under Castro.
I also thought at that time he was not, but I came to believe after having observed him.
Yes, but he served at the same time you did.
Right,
This is the evidence that I'm presenting.
At the time when I was
I'm not getting you on perjury. I'm simply presenting evidence to point out that there was some doubt that he was a communist, even with the people under.
But I'm objecting on the ground that we don't have the right to cross-examine that guy.
We have the right to cross-examine half the people you presented.
No, all the evidence we presented by the guy. For example, the white paper was written by Schlesinger,
Exactly.
therefore you have the right to cross-examine.
No, there were several times when you presented evidence, like the perjury against Mr. Bissell, which was not.
But those are things Mr. Bissell said himself. All evidence came by the guy.
It's right here. This man who was the Minister of the Treasury of Cuba.
But we don't have the right to cross-examine.
Yes, but wait a second. Oh my God!
No, you have.
There were several times when they presented evidence against Bissell by authors we never had a chance to cross-examine them. If we were to do that, half the evidence in this court would have to be.
But you had the author's book. We don't have a book by that guy.
We didn't get it. It's in the library. My 14 months with Cuba, with Castro. It's a book. My 14 months with Castro.
Exactly.
I'm simply presenting that there was controversy over the fact of whether or not he was a communist. That everyone did not believe he was a communist.
I object because, like we were saying before, that is opinion. Anyone who has an opinion, all the evidence we submitted, yes, but you can cross-ex her. All the evidence we submitted with an opinion, you could always cross-ex that person. If you don't call that person up on the stand, then since we can't cross-ex them, you can't admit that evidence.
Yeah, I said it before. It's just like.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, so there was doubt that he was communist, is that right?
I object. The evidence wasn't submitted. Therefore, you can't say there was doubt on the evidence.
Was there any doubt in your mind, or in any people's mind, that you dealt with that he was communist?
No, there was not. There was. I am absolutely firm in my belief that Castro is now and was at the time Bay of Pigs and at the time of my resignation that he was communist, and 98% of the Cuban people, as I stated before, also were against Castro.
Okay.
He was not. He promised all these wonderful ideals, and he did not live up to them. He started.
Now let me ask you a question. When did you write this book?
1961.
And you said the summer of. Now when were you underneath Castro? When did you work for him? Whatever.
57 to
57
59.
to 59. Now when
But
did
this book
Castro?
is also. This book was not written just solely within the time frame of 57 to 59. It included events up till then.
Okay. Now when did Castro take power in Cuba?
No. 53.
No, it's I think it's 50.
No.
You got it.
No, 1957 when I took power, because I must have been, I was the first president. I don't know. I'm not a specialist on that.
Oh, you're ready.
You're really the president of strike.
No, I'd have to say that I was his first president.
Oh, what's going on? We call 15-second recess to consult with our person on that.
It's like the first recess we pulled 3 days.
don't want that.
Okay.
We'd like to call a recess, please stay.
She was answering a question. I was just.
Okay.
Now, at this point, I would like to make a motion that all the evidence that was presented by the prosecution, by the defense, that had an opinion, be stricken from the record as well.
First of all, I'd like to state that
The evidence was
all
never presented,
this-
by the way. We still haven't got it.
that the parameters for that have to be reduced. All the evidence which were by people that all the evidence we presented with opinion. For example, when I presented quotes by Schlesinger, they had the right to they had the right to cross-examine them. All the stuff we've had the witnesses on the stand. This guy from the Treasury we can't bring to the stand. And guys who have books, who wrote 1,000-page books, they can turn them to different pages.
I would like to make a motion that I would say 50% of their evidence, which is an opinion, be stricken.
But the grounds are that they have the right to cross-examine, like Schlesinger.
No, Schlesinger's fine, because you had him on the stand.
Your Honor, I think what the prosecution is referring to is Mr. Bissell's testimony, and all the testimony that Mr. Bissell and all the perjury charges against Mr. Bissell were facts. They were things that Mr. Dulles and Mr. Bissell both
Yes, but no, they were opinions.
Of course, she didn't mean to confirm them, but she did anyway.
The majority of them were opinions.
No, they weren't opinion questions, they were fact questions.
Well, can we have the evidence anyway?
Certainly, I'll let you see them, it's right here.
We'll move on with this witness before we
Okay. All right. Ask him your last name.
Do you want to look at it?
We had like 7 different things for this one.
I would also make a motion that this witness testimony be stricken on the basis that she said that she's not an expert, and they called her as an expert.
I object. She said she wasn't an expert. When did she say? When did she
Just then,
When did she say this?
when I asked her when Castro came to power, she said, "I'm not an expert."
Would you just please leave this here and just continue questioning?
Okay, I would like to make a motion that her testimony be stricken from the record on the basis of the grounds that she was presented as an expert witness, and then she stated, "I'm not an expert on this."
Objection on one specific count.
When Castro.
She couldn't remember the exact month and year of that date. I mean, come on.
And I think.
But she said she wasn't an
Now I still
expert.
think she's not an expert on that.
He's on.
I don't know.
Yeah, but you played semantics by saying we couldn't present
Please
evidence.
continue.
No, that's it.
Danny McNamara.
Defense, would you like to call another witness?
David Wood. Robert McNamara, the honorable.
She presented her all.
Yo,
People think that.
I don't understand.
Canar's still.
Come on, McNamara. Danny, sit down.
Dan, sit down.
Canar's on using this weapon.
Yeah,